Our former chairman, Brendan Sidhu, came up with a concept and I guess drove it to this logical, not end point, but to this logical stage, and it's got plenty to deliver. Together they forged an alliance that firstly won the support of the ABA directors and the then state and federal governments to underpin the development of this facility. As we enter times when growers are under more pressure than ever before to do more with less, the ACE Orchard allows for trials and research to assist in that goal to be conducted with unfettered and uncompromised objectives and without the obvious commercial pressure that applies to all of you in the field. So it's not to say that this goes without a watch on budget. It is watched very, very closely. But the freedom to operate with diverse and extreme experimental options is something that is a little rare in our current era. The purpose-built site is administered by the ABA and guided through the ACE Orchard Management Committee. On October 31st, just passed, the first established project through Hort Innovation came to an end and a new funding model came into play on the 1st of November. So we'd like to acknowledge that the collaboration and endeavour shown by Hort Innovation, working with Tim and others through the course of 2023 has secured us a new funding model that allows us to establish revenue streams that come back to support the orchard, does not impose additional costs on growers, and I guess allows us freedom to exercise the fullest potential on this orchard. So compliments, I think, to you, Tim, and certainly to the Hort Innovation team for the endeavour, the sort of flexibility, and I guess ultimately the wisdom to come up with this sort of model. The actual model would not be possible without other support from departments of agriculture, the fisheries, and Department of Fisheries and Forestry, Ag Fisheries and Forestry, and the Hort Innovation process itself. Today you'll hear from our staff and research partners on the progress of trials being conducted, recognising that the facility belongs to industry, works for industry, and we encourage you to engage with this facility as best you can. And I guess as I close, I've already had a little chat with people. How do we actually best extract value from this massive amount of diversity, massive amount of data? How do we bring it back to a stage where you can access it for the stuff you want, not just a brain dump of everything that's out there? So I think, Tim, one of our biggest challenges is how do we work with our research partners to find ways to extract the information into useful, practical, pragmatic stuff. So I think that's a project in itself going forward. And I think all of you in industry, the researchers that are with us, the commercial partners, can you put your minds to how we best extract value from the facility, not just another load of information that we might consider? Welcome and compliments to you all for choosing to attend today. I think it'll be a brilliant event. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Peter. I described Julie Bird as the First Lady of the almond industry. Unfortunately, she's come down crook. She's very disappointed not to be here to speak on behalf of Hort Innovation. But the Head of Industry, Services and Delivery, Corinne Jasper, is here, and I'll ask Corinne to come forward and say a few words on behalf of Hort Innovation. Corinne.
Good morning, and thank you to Tim and the ABA for inviting us here to the opening here today. Apologies, as Tim said, from Julie Bird, who is unwell, and I know she was really looking forward to being here today. I remember walking this land with Ross Skinner and Brendan Sadhu when it was just a grazing paddock in the early stages of planning and discussions. It is wonderful to be here today to see their vision realised 8 years on as the Almond Centre of Excellence. The Almond Centre of Excellence is home to more than 15 million in almond industry investments being delivered through Hort Innovation. The orchard is home to the almond industry's research and development program. A lot of almond research has originated in California, where almost 80% of the world's almonds are grown. So it provides a hub for much of the almond industry's R&D, developing innovative growing systems and genetics suitable for Australian conditions. It's a site of collaboration used by ABA, PIRSA, University of Adelaide, and Plant Food Research, who are all investing in a bright future with the almond industry. I'll now hand it over to Adrian Hunt, our R&D manager.
Thanks, Corinne. It's really great to see so many people here today getting a chance to view the research that's being undertaken by all of our research partners at the ACE Centre. It touches on a whole heap of the challenges coming for the almond industry. So we've got work that works on the different genetics that are going to be required, the different planting systems, how those canopies are going to be managed, how water and nutrients are going to be managed, sustainability, and looking after those soils as well. So this really is a shining example of what can happen when industry cooperate and work together to tackle and develop research for their own challenges. Thank you.
A special thank you to Adrian travelling from Hobart and Corinne from Brisbane. Also to Maddie Hosenzeder. She used to be called Maddie Good. It was a lot easier to pronounce. And Nicole, thank you very much for attending today. The operational funding budget and project that's just been announced in the press yesterday would have been possible without the assistance of both, especially Maddie and Adrian, and we've done a lot of work on it, so thank you very much for your support. Back and forth a few times to get it done, but we got there in the end, so thank you. I'd now like to call on Professor Mehdi Daroudi, the PIRSA CEO, to say a few words. The significance of PIRSA and their support was that Ross and Sid, being the negotiating gurus they are, they sparked a bidding war between Victoria and South Australia to actually have this site. And fortunately for Medi in South Australia, they won the bid. So we're most appreciative, Medi. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, and it's great to see you all. Good morning and welcome to the official opening of the Centre of Excellence. Please accept Minister Scriven's apologies. She couldn't be here, but I have to say I was so pleased when I heard that I'm coming in her place. The reason I say that, my engagement with this development goes back to 2014, 2015. When Ross was involved, and we were really fighting hard to make sure that this centre is going to be based in South Australia. There may be some Victorian friends here that they are not going to be happy, but I promise that, you know, in working with industry and research development corporations, we make sure that we achieve outcomes that the flow of benefit goes to the whole nation. May I also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we are on and pay my respects to their elders, emerging, you know, past, present, and emerging. I would like also to acknowledge Peter Hayes. It's great. Thank you for your leadership when it comes to Almond Board. Australia, I would like to acknowledge Ross as the former CEO and team. Great working with you, mate. It's as I said, regardless of some of our differences here or there, but it's a working relationship, and we always work positively towards a common goal for everyone. For the last couple of years, I have been chief executive of PIRSA. Prior to that, up to about 7 years, I have been deputy. Day in, day out, I have been dealing with challenges that comes through our primary industries. Challenges and opportunities. Obviously, challenges are matters that we need to work with each other to make sure that we come through that and our farmers come through that safely, soundly, and the flow of benefit in our regional communities in terms of wealth, well-being, social opportunity, and the rest of that is there. When you look at the last few years, we have had a number of issues, especially in the Riverland. We have had the issue of China markets. We have had the flood. We have had biosecurity-related matters. Doesn't matter if it's fruit fly or if it's varroa mite. Very challenging issues, inflation, interest rates, shortage of labor. But still, when we look at that, we are making our way through, but we make our way through by working together and trying to come through these difficult times. At the same time, when there are opportunities, it's important we take those opportunities now and into the future, bring innovation in, work together. As our colleagues in HIA said, everything is about collaboration. I always say collaboration, collaboration. We need to work with industry. We need to work with research providers and research funders. In 21-22, the value of primary industry in our state was $17.3 billion. More than 70,000 people, full-time FTE employed in the sector. And our primary industry economic contribution to the state grew at a remarkable 26% for each of the past 2 years, considering all those issues and problems that we are going through. When it comes to the horticulture sector on its own, it has been $2 billion a year industry for us. And when we look at that, the main produce are tomato, potato, citrus, and of course, almond. And when we look at that again, almond is the highest level produced in terms of export that we have. In 21-22, almond growers produced, South Australian, 31,000 tons valued at 196 million at the farm gate. and exported this product to over 40 countries. When we just look at export side of it, reached a record of 263 million in 22-23, marking a 250% increase in export over a period of 10 years. That's amazing, and credit to all of you guys for the hard work that you are doing in this field. Again, coming back to the center itself, it's about how we work together, not only to work on R&D, I'm 100% with you, Peter, on that point. Research can be done and result can be ended up being into a report and published somewhere, but we want to see what's the practice change. We want to see how it's going really to help all of you guys in terms of what you are doing on the ground. And that's what I believe this 60-hectare experimental and demonstration orchard that has been owned by the South Australian government today marks a transition to an industry-led center with support from both the state and Commonwealth governments. Still some of the paperwork to be having the final signatures, but that transition is happening, and we are going to work together towards future of this center. The Almond Center of Excellence serves collaborative programs and platforms for industry and researchers and research funding bodies to make sure that we deliver better good to the future of this industry. It also needs to showcase these technologies and more technologies that is going to come into the future. All the innovative ways that we need to do things. One of the sensitive matters over the recent years for us has been the pollination. And I know how much harm and how much suffering it happened, both for apiarists and for almond guys or others, over not being able to move the hives anymore in the way that you used to because of the issues that we dealt with in New South Wales. Now, again, how more innovatively we can work on it now and into the future. The varroa management in New South Wales has gone into a management phase rather than eradication phase. After all the effort that nationally were put in place over a couple of years to eradicate this, sometimes we need to learn to live with things, and they are, again, challenging for all of us, and we understand that. Now, the point here is how we can work together. We just recently asked Tim also to join the reference group that we put in place to be able to make future decisions about varroa management in the state. Rather than unilaterally, from a government point of view, we go ahead and make those decisions. And we look into the contribution that is coming from all these different sectors that we have. Future growth for the almond industry will rely heavily on our ability on the overseas market as well. Certain things is not in our hands. I understand that American production is going to be much, much greater, and that could have adverse impact on the pricing. But matters like how we can diversify market, how we can penetrate into greater market are the things that as government agencies, we would always be happy to help and support and to work with you. Some of my research staff, including the head of SARDI, Hannah, they are here today. I would strongly encourage the SARDI staff to make sure that they meet with everyone, as many as they can. And I would strongly encourage you to reach out to them if there are potential for new proposals, new projects that we can work together. And I'm going to be pleased to see really, Tim, that this development into the future is going to go ahead and we have better research programs with better outcomes for the industry. This Open Day provides a great opportunity for all of us to see firsthand what we do. Congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to the organizers for the day. The center is officially opened. Let's make most of it. Let's make sure good materials coming out of this, that beneficiary of that could be and will be the whole nation. Thank you very much for your time, and many thanks for having me today.
Thank you, Mehdi. Before we move into the next stage, one final note is that as you came in today, you would have seen that the ABA board deemed it appropriate that the main thoroughfare through the orchard be named the Ross Skinner Drive. So thank you, Ross, for your vision and leadership. We've got Josh has come up with a great program for the rest of the day. Enjoy it. But before we close off, thank you very much to the operators and the people who have supported today by coming along with their exhibits. Please spend some time. We've got some amazing tech there. I know that everyone's looking forward to, after a 1,000 tonne crop, which was down 34% on estimate, everyone's looking to bounce back next year. So that will bring with it some challenges around on-farm storage and stockpile management. So there's some issues. There's certainly some solutions there, especially if we get any wet weather, and also around insect damage, and also a lot of new tech around machinery. So we've got some of the most progressive people here today. Some you will hear from during their pitches, but please ensure that you have a chat to the people there. We also, in the shed at the back, Professor John Filkey has been working for several years on a infill de-hulling process equipment. So please go down to the shed and have a look at what John has come up with. He's not far away. We're talking, he's now at the process of trying to work on commercialisation of that, and that could be a game changer for the industry if that comes off. De-hulling, you can imagine the freight savings on shipping to a huller and sheller if you've already got the hull off. 30% saving in freight weight straight off the bat. So could be a game changer for the industry. Thank you very much for attending. On behalf of the ABA board and my staff, we hope you have a great day. Thank you.